What's up, guys? I want to make this a short one. I'm going to make this a very specific one for one chart as well, and one chart that I just found out about actually, and that confirms all my beliefings, and that's that the altcoin market still has a long way to go. So what I'm looking at right now is my screen. You are too. What a coincidence. Like the video. Welcome to the FOMO Factory. What I'm looking at right now is others. The total crypto market, excluding the top 10 and everything within the top 125. So as altcoin-ish as you can get it on TradingView. Now, a lot of reasons to believe that this is going to be the third leg of the altcoin market. We had one leg here and one leg here. I made a lot of content lately about why I think the third leg is coming. And it's that I've just saw this. And from my screen, you can maybe already see it. What stands out already, of course, is that this is the chart on the monthly, right? It's a huge time frame. So this is for the long term, but the big moves, right? Now, what you can see, of course, is that the altcoin market is far from what it was in 2021 or 2018, where the RSI was just flashingly overbought, right? That wasn't even the case during this first leg of the bull market, and yeah, that was a life changer for a lot of people already, right? This showing that you know we are not there yet, right? But what you'll notice is the following, or what you might not notice, but I'm going to tell you, is that you see these two lines cross, right? Now, what is what? The purple line is the RSI, and the yellow line is the RSI moving average, right? How has the RSI been moving on average on the monthly time frame? The RSI is about to cross above the moving average, right? Now, how that works psychologically, not 100% sure. But how it works, what I can tell you from the chart, is that we have seen this 5 times in the complete altcoin market before. Maybe 6 times, but we had not enough history to get a moving average right here. Right? But this happened at least 5 times before. Now, what happened after these crossed? Right? The last time it crossed was in October, and in October, from the moment it crossed, and I'm not taking it from the ultimate low, right? Because there we had no cross yet. Otherwise, you could have said like, hey, the move has already begun. So what I'm about to tell you is excluding the move that we have already seen, right? So basically from this point, or the point of crossing, right? So here it moved up, and the altcoin market, or here it crossed, and the altcoin market moved up with 145%. The time before that, it crossed right here, right? You see the purple line going below the yellow line, again, above the moving average. That was here, right? What happened from that point? That was the wick low. It went up with 385%. The time before that was in the second leg of the last bull market, basically, right? We had that first huge leg, and then we got another second leg out of it. There we had such a cross again. And from that point, the altcoin market went up with 115%. Now notice that that was actually already the end of the bull market, but it was just another extra move for the altcoin market. All right? Time before that was here, when we got out of COVID, right? You can see that it crossed, it went below it real quick, but it went above it real quick again, right? That move was 6,000%. And we had another cross right here at the beginning of 2019. And yeah, it also depends on how you take it, right? Because in April, but May as well, like you cannot put it perfectly right there because it happened somewhere in the middle of the month. So I'm only taking it from this little candle right here and not this one. That was a move of 142%. So couple conclusions. one, of course, out of the 5 times this happened, the altcoin market went up. Also, out of the 5 times this happened, the altcoin market went up with at least 115%. So, of course, it could be worse. It could also be better, right? Now, if you take an average of this, and no, I didn't do that from the top of my head, of course, but that's 1424%. Now, why is that high? Right? It's because we had one of these crosses that got us into the bull market for altcoins mainly, right? And I think that the average isn't even that high, because if we had a moving average here, then the cross would have happened here as well. That led us into this bull market, and then the average would have been way higher, of course. We can, but I don't think it's realistic. But if you want to manage your expectations, right? But let me write that down. So the average that we got is 1424. Now we can again, although I don't think it is very realistic, take away this extraordinary pump. But then again, that's the market that we are now in, right? That's the bull market phase. So to exclude it, I don't think that that's that realistic. But even, right? If we take that away, then we're sitting at an average of 169. I don't know what I did. 169%, right? So these are at least 2 conclusions. Again, this is not me predicting anything, but this is just me looking at like, hey, 5 out of the 5, that's not something to ignore, right? So 1424% is the average move that we got out of it. So let's say we do cross, let's say around this price point. We can also go down first, of course. 1424%. I would say 1400, give or take. Well, close enough. It's a $4 trillion market cap for the altcoin market. Now, again, now you might be like, huh? Look, again, if you go on my channel, I made a video not too long ago giving you somewhat of a prediction for the crypto market, but mainly what that was based on is the following. If you look at, and I just want to back up why it sounds like a lot, but why it might not be that unrealistic actually, is if you look at the, let me see, logarithmic regression for Bitcoin. I want to look at the fair value logarithmic regression band. This is the total, or Bitcoin, this Bitcoin. I want to look at the total crypto market, because we don't have to look at Bitcoin in this case. So here's the total crypto market. As you can see, we are now slightly below the fair value. Now, in every bull market, we go not even a little above it, we go way above it, right? The fair value by the end of 2025, why then? That's the seasonality, that's the most best thing I think to hold on to, is around 5 trillion, right? Well, if it's around 5 trillion, and we always go like way above it, the last cycle, we went 10x above it, right? Or that's not true, we went 6x above it. Let's say it's diminishing. Let's say we go above it 2, 3x. Like that's a number that I'm just sucking out of my thumb, right? But hey, we have, but at least above it. The minimum 10 trillion, right? Now, with the Bitcoin dominance at the moment sitting at 63%, and at 62, and also on the higher time frames, like not looking great. This could easily go below 50. I expect a 47 up to 44 at the end of the cycle. That's less than half, right? Then we also have stables and Ethereum, etc. But what's there? A pretty decent portion for the altcoin market. So does that make the 4 trillion right here very unrealistic? I don't know. And again, this is based on averages, right? Pure averages. Like this is what always like happens. So there's that. Now again, if you want to be very bearish, you can say like, oh yeah, well, let's take the bull market away. Okay, we can take this bull market away, but then again, yeah, the bull market was there, right? So, but still, then we come with a 196% gain. Cool. In that case, I feel like this will be the first leg, though. Because if we extract the real bull market, then the outcome of this isn't the real bull market as well, I think. But that could already be 820 billion, right? Depending on if we cross around, this price right now, right? Could be high, could be lower, but that's around 820 billion. That's already a fat new all-time high for the altcoin market, right? So it's not that you can later say like, oh, FOMO predicted a $4 trillion market cap. If it hits that, by the way, then yes, I did predict that, but I didn't, right? I didn't. It's just me, again, looking like, hey, what happened every single time before? And it just stood out to me like, whoa, it's crossing, right? It's crossing almost. What happened before? And I just noticed like, wow, every single time we pumped and we pumped hard. Like, okay, on top of all the things that we already spoke about on the channel, this is like an extra nice piece of confirmation, right? Like, wow, this must be really coincident now. So keep in mind, this could happen. Now we can take a quick look like how fast did it happen, right? Well, here it took around 2 months. 2 months, give or take. This move right here took from June 2023 up to March 2024. So what's that? 3 quarters. This move happened in 3 months. This move, the real, bull from the peak low, of course, wick low actually, from March until, what was it? May, right? Took a year. And this one here took from April until June, so a couple months, right? So what we see, if this is not the, if this is not the bull market move, then it could be that we are getting a quicker move up to around 800 billion that could play out in the coming months. If this is the bull market move, then it could be that this is just what's going to happen, like maybe for the rest of the year until maybe somewhere at the beginning of 2026 somewhat. Again, based on what we have seen so far, right? But I thought this was pretty interesting. It's in a neutral zone right now, right? It's at 55. It's not below 30. It's not over sold. It's not above 70. It's not overbought. It's nicely in the middle. But therefore, we have this cross right now. Now, what you want to keep in mind, if this plays out, you want to remember this video, okay? Because then it also means that these different directions could also be true. Because what we also see is that when this moves the other way around, right? When purple, crosses the yellow line from the upside, that's what happened here. And that got us into this last correction, dip, crash, whatever, depends on what altcoin you were in, right? Here it happened again, right? Well, coincidence. Also, these are macro moves, right? Major moves. Here it happened, beginning of the bear market. I can go on, but I think we all know what these others are going to look like. So, one more. Here it crossed clearly, beginning of the bear market, right? This is so far such a, what is this, 10 out of 10? So, something to keep in mind. Something to 100% rely on when you invest and trade, maybe not. But something to completely ignore, fuck no. Like, look how accurate this is so far. Like, don't ignore something that completely works 100% perfect so far, of course, right? You can probably, if you go on TradingView, I mean, you can apply this chart on or this RSI on everything, and maybe you can come to some conclusions. Like on Bitcoin, the cross has happened, right? Yeah, we can also look like, hey, what did it mean for Bitcoin? Well, I mean, I'm not going to go fully over that, but the last time we got that cross, Bitcoin basically went from that 50K range to 110K, right? There was a huge candle. Now we just got that cross again, and yeah, this looks like to be eventually the first candle. Again, can we go down next week? Yeah, sure, but it's a monthly chart, right? So I think that that's pretty interesting. We got that cross over here as well, and around February 2023. I mean, like, you get the point. I think this is an insane thing that I kind of ashamed of, that I like never talked about this before, but this has to be said. So come to your own conclusions. I'm just showing now what the history is, right? And history is not a guarantee for the future, but it's a pretty good measurement point. So thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, turn the bell notification on. Turn yourself on by watching this one more time. And fuck, I should not do that kind of stuff. Bye.